Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? It's me, Mr. 4K Upscaler. What you're looking at here, it's Meglaton. You know, it's the Jason Statham movie. This is the 4K HDR UHD version of the movie, and I'm using obviously my Oppo UDP-203. But what's really interesting is the fact that I'm using the same exact settings that I used on PlayStation 4 Pro game mode. And I'm going to show you some of these settings that I'm using. Yes, I know there's a movie mode. Guys, don't get me wrong. I like the movie mode. And this is kind of a mix of that movie mode with my own little ingredients. Think of this as a movie mode with my ingredients. Okay, just want you guys to think about that for a minute. So think of this like my cinema mode, my movie mode, with my own ingredients. I want you to think about it that way. So this is what I basically did. Backlit 48, brightness 0, contrast 48, sharpness 10, color 23. It's pretty much exactly the same. And of course, digital clean view, I left that on automatic. Auto motion plus, it's custom. Blur reduction, it's at 10, and judder reduction, it's at 5. A local dimming set to high. Contrast enhancer to high. Color tone to warm 1. Ignore this HDR plus mode. This is just something that I was using to adjust this settings. Okay, here's what happened. I used the HDR plus mode, and then I went inside the HDR plus mode and I started tweaking the picture settings with my own preference, basically. Think of it like I was doing a surgical performance on this HDR plus mode. I basically opened up the HDR plus mode and I started tweaking my own ingredients in it. I start putting my own ingredients. And down here I use the color tone warm 1 and the color space it's native. I'm going to go through some of these movie stills and I'm going to walk you through it, but I think you guys should try these settings. These are pretty much the same settings that I used on the PlayStation 4 Pro. The only difference is on PlayStation 4 Pro I was under a game mode. This is a movie mode plus HDR plus mode. Okay, I was first on the movie mode, then I turned on the HDR plus mode, and from HDR plus mode I was tweaking everything. So this is, think of it like my own custom HDR plus mode. HDR plus mode is just a filter that you can regulate, that you can customize. Okay, it's just their calibrating settings. It's really similar to a movie mode. Okay, it's just they call it their own HDR. Okay, so don't get confused on that. And even here on this scene, just look how beautiful it looks. Look at these settings, man. Look at the viewing angles. It just looks perfect. So don't get confused. HDR plus mode, it's just a calibrating picture settings mode to give you that illusion of HDR. I only used it to tweak inside of it. That's right, pretty much what I did. I just used it so I can tweak it with my own preference, so that way you guys can have my own custom preference. Okay, the HDR plus mode, it's dog shit. It's not that great. But what I did, basically, I went inside the HDR plus mode and I started tweaking it myself. It doesn't have to be HDR plus mode. It could be a movie mode. It could be neutral. It could be natural. It could be standard. Guys, it doesn't really matter which presets do you choose. As long as you custom adjust them, Okay, it doesn't really matter which preset you use. I only use HDR Plus mode so that way I can remember my movie mode and my HDR Plus mode. So that way when I use the movie mode, I have my presets for the movie mode, and when I want to use my custom HDR Plus mode, I can go and remember that's where I was. I'm just doing this so I can remember where my presets are. You can call it higgy jiggy, it doesn't really matter. Okay, as long as you customize it yourself. So hopefully that's clear. Like I said, I'm very impressed on how this looks. Warm. Here's the kicker, guys. Warm 1 tone of color truly helps bring a more comfortable viewing experience. I've seen a lot of people use cold blue. Cold blue, yes, it brings that vibrance, brings that peak brightness, but you know what, man? That's also bad for your eyes. I think warm 1 color brings you a more comfortable viewing, especially if you're watching a lot of TV, if you're watching a lot of movies. The warm 1 color will definitely do that for you, and you can clearly see that here. Now, what else did you notice here? You noticed that I left my color at 23. Why? Because as I said earlier in my previous video, I already got a great color accuracy here on this TV. And I do want to avoid oversaturation. So what I'm doing here, it's really not that different from what professional calibrators would do. I'm trying to avoid a oversaturation of color. Sharpness here, it's at 10. This is fine. Okay, sharpness at 10, it's not a big deal. It's on a balanced level. Okay, sharpness at 10, it's on a balanced level. And then I left the digital clean view on automatic. I always leave it on automatic, so that way if I switch between digital scrambled signal and then 4K, I don't have to turn this off and on all the time. Auto Motion Plus, you guys know what I did here. I left the blur reduction at 10 and judder reduction at 5. Works smooth. And of course local dimming, I left it at high. Contrast enhancer, I left it at high. HDR Plus mode, I'm just using this so I can remember where I custom adjusted my settings. You could call this hikimi jiggy, doesn't really matter. Okay, so don't let this confuse you. And another important aspect is the warm 1 tone of color. This is the really important part right here. It's the warm 1 tone of color. And of course, color space set at native. And even here you can see just how beautiful that picture looks with HDR. Looks amazing. And that warm 1 color tone really helps. It's going to give you that comfortable viewing. And again, you know, I hate to repeat myself like a broken vinyl record or something, but the reason I'm showing these settings to you because I want you guys to try them. Give them a try and let me know what you think. I think you should at least try it before you dismiss it. And then I'm pretty sure you will agree that this is better than using that cold blue vibrant tone of color. I'm pretty sure you guys will agree on that. And nothing's being crushed here. All the levels are great. You see everything the way it should be. And to me, just this, it seems like a much better, comfortable viewing on the movie content, even on the gaming content, using the warm 1 color, using the 23% color on the slider, and of course leaving the sharpness at 10 at the default level. To me personally, that's, when I say default level, I mean balanced level. That's why I left the sharpness at 10. And again, my camera here cannot depict this because you can't see HDR, but you'll just have to trust me. When you try these settings, you will see the movie like Meg, which is a Megalodon. You will see just what I'm talking about. Until you try these settings, you can't really know what I'm talking about unless you actually try them. Let me show you some more stills if I can here. Obviously I cannot play the clip from the movie because if I do, it will be copyrighted. So I'm just trying to give you some paused still here from the movie so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Like I said, the deep dark levels are even. Nothing's being crushed here. Looks fantastic. Yes, I'm using my GoPro Hero 6 in case you guys are wondering. Camera. So anyway, give these settings a try. I'm only using one example from Megalodon, and Megalodon, whatever you call that, prehistoric, gigantic shark, Meg. So I think these settings that I implemented here, I think you guys should give it a try and let me know what you think. Remember, if you don't like them, you can always remove them. It doesn't cost you anything. But you should at least give it a try and let me know what you think. I think warm one color plays a huge role. I was wrong about the standard. Warm one color, definitely, it's easier on the eyes and it's better. Alright, well there you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. Like I said, try these settings and let me know. Happy holidays. Take care. Have a good one, though.